Sorry for the late November entry here. I wanted to celebrate Twilight Zone month, but I kinda got lost in other things. However, I still want to make videos, believe it or not, so I thought it would be best to start with a good series, back to the age of Rod Serling and good writing, with the occasional miss here and there. And with only a few Rod Serling episodes left, since a lot got covered in rapid-fire reviews, let's go with one that has a fun title to it, The Jeopardy Room. I hope they got Art Fleming for this one, since Jeopardy did first air in March of 1964, and this episode first aired in April of the same year. Our story begins in the home of a man who seems very, very paranoid. More so after being referred to as Major Kushenko, and the voice on the phone tells him he has friends in his new home. Once we pull back from his window, we see he is currently being watched by two individuals who are seeking to kill him. Rather than take this easy shot, one of the two wants to give him a good death, quote-unquote, which requires planning and skill like a piece of art. Kushenko gets a knock at his door from a supposed friend who he lets in at gunpoint, still, of course, very paranoid. This friend, however, is the same as the voice on the phone, so we are aware this is more of his trap. This trapper lays out some exposition for us about Kushenko, his desire to defect from the USSR, seek asylum in a Western nation, and all that other fun stuff. However, the Major is also aware that this man is actually his enemy, and a personal one at that. The Commissar offers him a drink, and even to drink first, since Kushenko believes it to be poisonous, and then speaks highly of himself and his art of killing that many others do not respect in this day and age. After proving the drink to not be poisonous, Kushenko takes a swig. Or two. He then starts to feel ill effects from the Amontillado, and passes out. When he comes to, he finds himself alone in his room with a message left for him. The message from the Commissar lays out some rules for this little game of his. That there is a bomb somewhere hidden in his room, and if he successfully defuses it, he can simply leave. He must find it and be actively searching for it in this one room, and any other actions, such as trying to flee or turn off the lights, will lead to him being shot and killed. The Major begins his very careful search while being watched and commentated on as the Commissar gives little to no information to his partner, but only teases like a sick game hunter. Or Jigsaw. The Commissar is of the belief that the Major will find it, but too late, as if to say he will be killed by it. His assassin friend has also become an audience surrogate at this point, as he commentates about the situation before he and us either realize or are told that the bomb is planted in the phone and set to go off when he answers a call from it. The Major then tries to cover his window, but is shot at, thus proving the point that he can be shot at any moment. Although he calls to be shot and killed, no such treatment is given. So, once the time is up, the Commissar calls up the front desk to ring the Major's phone, but he doesn't answer. He calls again, and the Major breaks for it, most likely figuring out that the bomb was actually inside the phone, and answering it would only bring a certain death. However, the Major calls the room back, and the Commissar's assassin takes the call, forgetting that it was the bomb, and killing the pair, allowing himself the ability to safely flee to a Western nation. Now, the ending is actually hilarious. Such a small mistake is the end for this master planner and assassin, and it's also quite good as it calls back to the previously established bomb and giving us payoff for it. Which makes me think of two rather big things by highly famous artists, a statement from Hitchcock and the famous Chekhov's gun. Now, we all know Chekhov's gun here. If you show a gun in the first act with no intent on using it then, it will most likely be used later in the story, otherwise you would not have called attention to it in the first place. However, there's an equally important talk from Hitchcock about creating tension. It starts with an example of a scene of something like a normal day with people eating at a table, and then suddenly a bomb goes off, which creates a quick shock in the audience for maybe 10 seconds. But if you redo the scene and alert the audience to a bomb's existence, they'll keep worrying about the bomb until the relief of it going off. This episode draws off both of these with the bomb. It is established, the audience and character are both told alongside later, knowing where said bomb is, followed by the great moment where the Major finds out about the bomb and escapes it, with it closing with Chekhov's gun as the bomb does indeed finally go off after everyone thinks the situation has come to an end. The first half is a little bit of a miss for me, I must admit. Although it does a good job setting up the scenario, I don't think we needed literally everything about them in their history. The setup of the Major being a defector who once got tortured in a Siberian camp by the Commissar was enough. Setting up the bomb threat on its own side gives us enough of the Commissar's hunter side as well. To give it credit, though, Martin Landau and John Van Drielen give amazing performances. During the first 3/4 of the episode, Landau shakes quite a bit to show his unease and paranoia, even though he's holding the gun and it's clear he's unsure about using it. On the opposite side, Von Drielen is standing upright and speaking with a relaxed but professional tone, knowing he controls the situation at all times, and this demeanor continues as he toys with both the Major and even his subordinate about where the bomb is located. The frantic searching is nicely done as well, even if some of the commentary can be seen as annoying. And the ending, as said earlier, is just hilarious. That the trap laid by the artsy killer Commissar is his own downfall because his objective-oriented counterpart failed to remember where the bomb was because he was again so focused on tracking down the defector. However, I can't call this a perfect episode just because of my own tastes, really. The talking of the first half is a bit of a bore, and the search for the bomb is really the exciting part, but I know some will like that intimidating first half of unease and tension. And I think that's where this episode really shines through, more as a lesson in tension than an actual story. From that perspective, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 because of its application of both Chekhov's gun and Hitchcock's small message on tension. As a story, I'd give it a 6 out of 10 because it is still enjoyable, but maybe a little too slow for this epic chess match between communists. Either way, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later.